Hello everyone and welcome for probably the shortest video of all of these videos, even though we're gonna talk about 5 characters in this video. Yes, 5 characters. 5 total characters in this video, all about Team Mikazuki. Why is this video still so short? Guess what? They're all terrible, apart from Yachiyo. So, Iroha has alright discs. Her stats are god-awful. Her defense is kind of alright in some way, but her attack is terrible. Her HP is terrible, which overall means that she can't attack and she can't defend well enough against any sort of incoming damage either. Her connect gives attack up, but only 32%, which is worse than anyone else. She's got the worst attack up in the entire game on her connect. Her HP restore is fine, but that's about it. She literally has the worst attack up and just some HP restore. Her Magia revives an ally, which is the only source of revive in the entire game apart from Iroha. But Iroha is also Iroha, so I guess that also is the same character. Which I guess is fine, and it also restores restores HP to all allies, which is fine, but apart from that, it does nothing. It does nothing else other than heal a little bit, and maybe resurrect someone who is probably gonna get killed before you get your next turn. And it does no damage. It does no damage because she's got no HP. Her doppel actually does get remove status ailments from all allies. But if you get to her doppel, then I don't think this will be an issue anyway. So yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, it can be fine to remove status ailments, but it's always better to just not get status ailments than to remove them. So this is only like a second-rate ability. But maybe her spirit enhancement is fine. Regeneration, a bit of Magia, more regeneration, some blast up. Keep in mind that all of the stuff that buffs her own damage is useless because she has no attack whatsoever. And apart from that, some defense up. Defense up is actually fine. She's got decent defense. She still only has average defense. Like, defense is her best stat, and it's still only average. Like, how terrible of a unit do you have to be that your best stat is only average to other people? That's how bad it is. What else they do? Anti-skill seal? Who cares? Literally, who cares? I don't understand. She has nothing special in here, but maybe her active is really good. Remove status ailments. It's god awful. Moving on with Tsuruno, we see Tsuruno is a Magia type character who is hopefully better than Iroha. Also, welcome to the stream, Alonso. Right now I'm recording a YouTube video, so my introduction to you will be on YouTube. We see a lot of people usually talk about Tsuruno as Yui because when you're on the Japanese server or on the North American server, you might think to yourself that Yui is actually her first name. It's not. It's Tsuruno. So Alonso, I mean that what I'm recording right now, what I'm saying right now, is going on YouTube as a video. So Tsuruno has quite okay attack, but her defensives are absolutely terrible. Similar to how Iroha was absolutely terrible on attack, Tsuruno is also absolutely terrible on all of her defensives, but at least he has some attack, only a little bit though. But if we look at her connect, we know probably, at least most people probably know that her attack up is on her connect as well as blast damage up. But while this is a pretty good blast up connect, there have been other characters that have better connects. For example, well, once Ashley makes her way to Japanese, but also Nanaka, for example, has a better connect. Or in general, other connects that have sort of maybe status ailments on them can sometimes be better than this. But overall, I would say that her connect is actually probably the best thing about Tsuruno, because having an 80% blast damage up is actually quite amazing, especially if you use this on a character that is going to use multiple blast discs but doesn't have any other blast bonuses on them. And the attack up is, of course, while everyone has it, or almost everyone has it, it's still nice to have. If you look at the Magia, you probably also know that it gives evade to self, but it also gives blast damage up and excellent gain up to all allies. Quite a lot of it actually, meaning that if you play her on a Magia team, she actually can buff rather well. However, one thing to note is, if you want to stack these buffs, you're probably playing her on a pure Magia team. If you play her on a pure Magia team, the blast damage up buff that you get from this probably is wasted. But if you play her on a blast damage team, probably you're not gonna get to Magia that easily. However, I feel like the developers have kind of thought about this, because the blast damage up is quite a lot higher than the XLMP gain up, meaning that you get a lot of blast damage up from just using it once, while for the XLMP gain up you have to use it multiple times. So I feel like the developers have actually kind of accounted for the fact that on a blast team you're gonna use less Magia. So that at least does seem like the developers have kind of an idea of what they're going on about. Her doppel is of course more than all of that, which is whatever. But let's look at her spirit enhancement. We see that got charge adept, Magia adept, parry adept. Like, none of this stuff is interesting. Literally nothing new is interesting. Magia up to self, nothing is interesting. Her spirit enhancement are just a bunch of bonuses to stuff she already does and nothing special whatsoever. Nothing special. Moving on, Felicia. She's got 2 blast this, 2 charge this. Oh no, charge this. Oh no, that's bad. She has almost the same stats as Tsuruno, which makes sense because she's in love with Tsuruno. Guys, too few people are shipping Felicia with Tsuruno. They literally said to each other, I love you. Literally, Tsuruno said I love you to Felicia and Felicia said it back. And no one is shipping the two. Why? Why is no one shipping the two even though they've confessed their love to each other? I don't understand this. People are fine with shipping twins. And like, incest is fine. Shipping 11-year-olds is fine. But shipping this? No, they're just good friends. I don't understand why. Anyway. What do they have? What does Felicia have? She has damage up, which is fine. Anti-counter, which is useless. So it's just the damage up. It's literally just the damage up because anti-counter is useless. I'm not gonna argue like sometimes it's good. No, it's just useless. This is just useless. So we just have the damage up, which is fine, I guess. And that's it. It's one of the worst connects in the entire game when it comes to having use for multiple situations. This is really just good in when you want to do some damage and for nothing else. What else do we have? We have super huge gigantic hammer, which interesting enough in Japanese is ultra great big hammer, but in English is super huge gigantic hammer. I don't know why they use different words. They just use different words. It damages one enemy, sadly not AoE. Gives defense down, gives even more defense down. This is really, really weird. It gives like 2 defense downs. I'm not quite sure exactly why it does this, but it is indeed just 2 separate defense downs that happen at the same time. But they are treated as if they were 2 separate defense downs. Doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter at all. Just combine both of the defense downs here, and that's basically what you care about. So overall, it's like a 70% defense down against one enemy, which is really nice, but it does nothing else. Like you can say, oh, but it does chance to bind 45%. Like, who cares? This is not gonna be good enough. This is just not good enough at all. At least until you get to doppel. On doppel, it's 100% chance to bind, and then on doppel, it actually is somewhat reliable to bind someone with this, and then it will actually be rather interesting. But just with the Magia, it's not good enough. However, if you want to go to doppel, keep in mind that she has these discs, so she probably won't get to doppel very much. And there's nothing else to say about this, because if you look at her Spirit Enhancement, there's nothing special in here. Anti-counter, who cares? Anti-evade, that's actually good. That's actually fine. But guess what? A lot of attacker type characters get anti-evade. What is her active? Blast damage up, charge damage up. It's like nothing special. There's like nothing special on any of these characters. It's just Here's some bonuses for stuff that you're already doing. Is it the same for Sana? Yes! She has the same disc, she's very defensive, her connect gives damage cut and attack up. Wow! The damage cut is actually really, really nice, it's actually a really good defensive connect, however, the attack up is terrible. Attack up is really terrible. And her Magia is fine, it gives attack up and damage cut to everyone. However, here's actually something that's interesting. Her, by the way, her Magia is called Foltergefängnis. That's how you pronounce it. Means torture prison in English. Here's her double Theresia. It has a random effect and a random pattern. Rather, it's 50-50 what you get. You either get her Magia more powerful, which is the same for most characters. Like most characters, as a double, just get their Magia more powerful, or it's 50% chance that instead you get the different pattern, because in case you didn't know, Sana has a personality disorder, and this is sort of reflected in her double. A 50% chance you get a different sort of double, where it, instead of these effects from the Magia, it burns enemies, gives darkness to all enemies, and it binds all enemies, which in my opinion is way better than the other double. Also, the other double kind of heals, but whatever. So either you get the defensive double or you get the offensive double, and personally I like the offensive double more. But if you're playing a stalling team, the defensive double will of course be the better one. However, it's random. It's completely random which of the two you get. Look at your Spirit Enhancement. Once again, nothing too special on most of these. One thing to note is she does have Provoke, which is kind of standard on like defense type units. I haven't reviewed many of them, but defense type units usually get a Provoke, and usually get an Endure on PvE quests, only PvE quests, and some damage cut, and some other damage cut. I guess the only thing that's really important to Sana is that she gets an active, which is anti-debuff. So she herself is immune to 3 debuffs in a row. Awesome. But these 3 debuffs have to hit her in 3 turns, which is fine. It's an okay active for her herself, but since a tank is usually supposed to protect the entire team, this doesn't do much to protect the entire team. It just protects herself, which is oddly selfish for someone like Sana. But then again, you could just argue that this is something that is just part of her lore, because Sana has a personality disorder where she has 2 different personalities in her, and that is indeed part of that. Nothing special about her either though. Like, none of these characters are special in any way. Tsuruno can somehow solo a little bit in mirrors with her Magia giving evade. Apart from that, none of these have anything special to them that is like worthy of using them at all. So I'm gonna actually like demonstratively close these pages. I'm gonna close this page, close this page, close this page, close this page. They're useless, ignore them. More importantly, here's Yachiyo. She actually matters. She's a Blast Gorilla, which is already better than anyone else. She has some actually useful defense. Her defense is actually pretty alright. That is good, that actually matters. She has 3 personals. No, she literally has 3 personals. We don't care about them. Her connect gives blast damage up, it gives crit. It's kind of normal, like it's a very standard connect, like it's good for a blast team. It's actually really good for a blast team, but other than that, like, doesn't really matter much. Don't care about her connect too much. Her Magia gives damage to all enemies, gives blast damage up to all allies, attack up to all allies. It's fine. It's actually a really good Magia. The problem is she's a Blast Gorilla, and Blast Gorillas don't get to Magia very often. So her connect is average, her Magia is alright, but she's a Blast Gorilla, so she's not gonna get to Magia. What is the Spirit Enhancement? Why am I so hung up on Yachiyo? It must be a Spirit Enhancement, right? Correct. One thing is you have this inherited protection. Whenever an ally dies, you get 5% attack up and 7.5% defense up. I'm gonna round this to 5. which means that if you're on a 5-man team and all 4 of your allies die, you get 20% attack up and like 30%, what is it? Yeah, 30% defense up, which is actually quite a lot. This is actually quite good. What else we get? Damage cut, okay. Anti-evade, that's fine. What else we get? Oh, what is this? Attack up at critical health, defense up at critical health? That is actually a good bonus. On top of that, you just get a bunch of defense up, which other characters have as well, but if you put on top of that Crisis Bloom and Inherited Protection, it actually is really good. Is this character actually good? You also get 25% blast damage up. She actually looks quite alright with a Spirit Enhancement. What is that? And then we look at her active, and it's 70% damage cut. Here's the thing. In mirrors, enemies decide who to attack based on your defense and type. Now, let's say they don't have type advantage against anyone on your team. They decide purely on defense. They do not take into account damage cut. If Yachiyo is currently the character with the least amount of defense, they will attack Yachiyo even if she has 70% damage cut, meaning that you can actually play around Yachiyo having the lowest defense on your team through use of your active Memoria, like using them in such a way that she ends up having the lowest amount of defense, and then activating her active. She will get targeted first, but she won't die because she has 70% damage cut. That actually sounds kind of amazing. Because of that, Yachiyo's actually kind of insane in that she is basically guaranteed to survive turn 1 on mirrors while potentially drawing aggro, and if other people do get hit and die, she gets stronger and she's a blast gorilla. She's the only character out of Team Mikazuki who has any sort of use whatsoever, and she's really good actually at that. So she's a kind of pocket free-to-play pick when it comes to blast gorillas, especially in mirrors. Let's keep that in mind. Her Magia, who gives a shit, doesn't matter. More important, and her connect is fine, but doesn't matter. More importantly, she's a really awesome pick for mirrors to do some really crazy stuff. That was that. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.